Hey sprinters, it's Janae here to brighten, lighten, and ignite your day on day 26. It's Fear Day. Do you have any fears? I sure do. I wish I didn't have as many as I do, but we can all learn how to face and feel the fear and break through it anyway. And that's what we're talking about in our sprint today on week 4. Power of ignition. So what are some of the fears out there? I was doing a little research to find out, is the fear of public speaking, going to the dentist, some of those fears that you heard about, are those really our top fears? And there was I'll have a couple links for you if you're interested in this, but you can also take some notes. Chapman University surveyed American fears in 2016 to look at the fears of average Americans. In April 2016, a random sample of 1,500 adults from across the United States were asked their level of fear about 79 different fear levels on a huge variety of topics, ranging from crime, government, disasters, technology to personal fears, etc. So in this, they came up with 11 domains of fear. So the domains were around government, man-made disasters, economic, illness and death, natural disasters, technology, relationships, environment, immigration, demographic changes, personal fears, and crime. And from there, then they asked all these topics and rated those. And so you can get a sense of what some of the top fears were, but here was definitely more around government, economy, man-made disaster, some of more the global fears that were in the top ones versus the personal fears. So then I also wanted to do a little bit more research to find out, well, what are the top 10 fears that hold us back in life? Because I think these are the fears we really need to break through, because what happens is we've gotten that power of ignition going, we're stepping into faith, and boom, what's going to hit us is our fear. And fear and faith are like a teeter-totter. One will swing up and one will swing down. One will swing up, one will swing down. And we need some fear, just like healthy stress, to keep us going, but too much can hold us back. So what might you be fearing now at this stage? Because we are halfway through. All right, so that means you made some great progress. So what are some fears that might be coming up? And that's normal, that we're going to be facing these. That's why we're talking about them. Okay, so this is our top 10 fears that hold us back in life. So I suggest you write these down, because I'm going to have you then do your number 1 around this. The fear of rejection. Number 1 is the fear of rejection. 2, the fear of failure. Number 3, the fear of uncertainty. Number 4, the fear of loneliness. Number 5, the fear of change. 6, the fear of the loss of freedom. Number 7, the fear of being judged. Number 8, the fear of something bad happening. And number 9, the fear of getting hurt. Number 10, to wrap up our list, the fear of inadequacy. And it ends with, there's no need to fear, because fear is your friend. Now, so all these different top 10 fears, I want you to think about how they relate to your number 1 goal. Okay, so your 1, 2, 3, choose what's best for me. Your number 1 is to write down your fear factors. So just like we identified your faith factors around your number 1 goal, to go ahead and do your fear factors. What might be getting in the way, the fears? Maybe it's inadequacy, rejection, whatever those that we've listed around those top 10, go ahead and identify those, because your 2, good for you, is to face them. And they say you need to stare fear down. So go ahead and face your fear. So I shared that one of my main fears was sales and marketing. And I decided the only way to do that was to face my fear and just go for it. So I went from pretty much a year of not at all connecting with my lists and my tribe, to all of a sudden doing a 40-day giving campaign and just totally putting myself out there. And there was this fear of rejection that started to happen, was that would people still like me? Would people still be interested? And that fear of rejection really came true. I lost a ton of people on my list who weren't very active. And yet it felt so good to walk through that fear, because it just really helped me to kind of step up and step out in ways that I had never done before. And in fact, that's why it goes all the way back to ancient scripture and times. There's so much about fear and faith. In fact, in the Bible, there's over 365 verses, one for a day, around faith and fear, facing your fears. Do not be afraid. Do not be afraid. In fact, when the angels would come to greet people, oftentimes they said, do not be afraid, because there's so much fear. And the acronym for fear is false expectations appearing real. False expectations appearing real. I'm sure you've heard that before, right? And they say, researchers say, about only less than 10% of the things that we fear actually come true. So that's why we've been shifting so much and not even really going here with our fears. But as the clip around Inside Out that you see below, it's one of our emotions. It's a natural emotion that we have. We need to have fear. When we're in those dangerous situations, we need to have that fear emotion be on red alert and stop us. But we need to know when we can control it as well. So your 1 and 2, and then your 3, good for you. Again, look at some of those overcomers of fear. Who are your role models who have overcome maybe similar fears that you have and have really marched on and done some great things? Because fear is only as big as we choose to make it. So we want to make it small, small, small. So there's nothing to fear but fear itself. And you know what? We just talked about that. Oftentimes, it's not even real. So face your fears, do it anyway, and we're going to keep on grooving. From my heart to yours, be love.